Hello guys, you're welcome once again to AOK. Today we want to look at some functions for investment. Okay, so we'll be looking at the PV function, which is present value function. We want to look at how to use this function to determine an amount that we need to invest now if we need some specified amount in future. So quickly look at this simple question that will guide us on how to use this simple Excel function. Okay, so now if you look at the question, Mr. Amidu needs 75,000 Ghana cedis in 5 years time for an investment. Okay, now he's wondering how much he has to invest now with the bank, GT Bank, for this 5 years period, such that he'll be able to raise the 75,000 in 5 years, and the bank is willing to give an interest of 10% each year. Now, how can we use the PV function to determine how much we should invest now? Now, if you look at the Excel function, this is the argument that we're going to use. The function is the PV, and we will need a rate, the NEPA. The NEPA is the same as the term. The PMT is an annual form of payment, or what we refer to as annuity. We will come to that shortly. FV here represents the amount we're expecting to get in future, and the type usually has to do with is payment at the end or at the beginning. Okay, so we will not really have issues here. Okay, so now let's just input the values here. The rate is set to be 10%. The term is 5 years, and how much are we expecting to make in 5 years time? 75,000. So let's put it here. Okay, so this is it. Alright, so now we are going to put a formula in this cell that C6 that will help us know how much we should invest right now, so that if we invest the money now, leave it to the bank for 5 years, we will be able to make 75,000 including our interest. Okay, so let's start with equals PV. Click on your tab key and we follow the argument. So what is the rate? 10%. Click on that cell. NEPA is the year, and then the PMT here is in a situation where Mr. Amidu decides to make constant payment at the end of every year, but in this situation we don't have that, so we leave that out, or you put 0 there, you bring comma. Then FV has to do with the amount you're expecting to realize in 5 years time, so that is the 75,000. With the type we can leave it, so we close our parentheses and then we enter. So now how much do we need to give to the bank right now if we decide to make the investment this year? Okay, how much do you think we should give to the bank? We have to give 46,569.10. Okay, so this is a Ghanaian cedi, so we can decide to change it and bring the Ghana cedi symbol. If not, we can just leave it like that. Okay, so let's go to more. I'm going for the Ghana cedi symbol. Click here. I think we can find the GHC right here. Okay, so we have our Ghana cedi. Let's expand a bit. Okay, so we need to invest 46,569.10 pesos right now if we decide to make the investment. Okay, now when we come to the schedule, we'll be able to know how much interest we'll be making at the end of each year, and then what will be our total investment with the bank. Okay, so when it comes to the schedule, it's very simple. How much are you going to invest now? Always zero is denoted as now. Okay, so equals, then we pick this value. Because this is negative, we don't want it to appear negative here, so we start with a negative. Why do you think this figure is negative? It's negative to tell you that money must leave you, or leave your company, or leave your outfit. Okay, so it's an outflow, and in investment, anytime money is leaving, it is negated. If it is coming in, then it is positive. But in this schedule, we don't want it to be negative. Okay, so remember to bring in negative before you click on it. Okay, obviously you will not make any interest in year zero. You start making interest when you keep the money with the bank for the whole year before you get 10% interest. So pick your investment with the bank for a whole year times the interest rate, which is 10%. Because we are going to replicate this down, and this interest rate will not change, we have to make this interest rate constant. We press F4 to introduce the dollar sign, making it constant. Now if you give the bank this much and now you are making interest of this, how much do you have with the bank? So we pick this plus this. Once we achieve this, we highlight up to the end and we go to Control D and we are done. However, you can see by default they are in dollars. We don't want it in dollars, so you can highlight it, go to Control 1 and change the currency to Ghana cedis. Okay, and we can expand it a bit. Alright, so that is it. How do you know what you've done is correct? You said in 5 years time you are looking for 75,000, so that is it. If this is the same as the future value we have here, then you are right, and that is true. Okay, so as simple as that. If you want to take up an investment, instead of using the long formulas here and there, Excel can help you achieve that. Okay, what about a situation where Mr. Amidu decides to actually make constant inflow? So let's go to this side. In this situation, Mr. Amidu decides to invest 10,000 cedis each year. Now if that happens, there will be an additional element, which is the annuity. In this instance, at the end of every year, Mr. Amidu is going to give 10,000 cedis to the bank, and this will be done for 5 good years. If this is going to be the case, how much interest is he going to get at the end of each year, and how much is he supposed to pay right now, so that subsequently at the end of every year he's going to deposit the 10,000. Okay, so let's see how we go about that. The same information, the only thing that has changed is Mr. Amidu is now going to do annuity payment at the end of every year. Okay, so 10% comes, it's still 5 years. This time around we have annuity of 10,000. Why are we making it negative? This is a payment you are making, an outflow, that's why we make it negative. Future value is what you're expecting to receive, so it has to be positive. So how much are we going to invest right now? So equals PV, click on the tab key and follow the argument. So we go to the rate, we go to the year, we go to the PMT, which is the annuity payment or the constant payment. Then we go to the FV, which is the future value. So we enter. So look at the difference here. Because you will be making constant payments at the end of the year, which is 10,000 cedis, you will be required to make an initial deposit of 8,661.23. That's basically what it means. Okay, as usual, you can change it from the dollar to the Ghana cedis. Because we already have the format in this sheet, we can just click here, click our format printer right here, and go to our annuity sheet and click here. So we don't need to go through the rigorous process again. Okay, here too we can just switch and go and change the currency. Let's go to more, and then I'll choose this. Okay, so okay, so this is it. Now let's look at how the schedule is going to look like. Equals, we pick this, remember to bring negative before you pick this, and then we come to year one. What will be our interest? It will be this money times the interest rate. Remember, this rate will not change as we replicate down, so make it constant by pressing F4 to introduce the dollar. Then we go to annuity. Annuity is constant payment, so that one too will not change. It will be 10,000 for each year. So you pick this figure, but before you do, because it's negative here, we need to bring negative here to make it positive. Okay, now this is not made constant, so press F4, make it constant, so that when we replicate down, it wouldn't change. We pick our initial deposit plus the interest we'll be getting at the end of year one plus the deposit we'll be making at the end of year one. So highlight everything up to the end and Ctrl D to copy. If this is the same as the future value here, then you're right. Now look at it. If you are not getting the same, there's a problem. See, this is false, this is 75 Ghana cedi, and this is in dollars. So let's just change this to the Ghana cedis and see if it will give us the right thing. So GHC, okay, and now when you expand, let me expand it a bit. Okay, okay, so why are we not getting the same thing? This is Ghana's 75,000, this is 75,000. However, we are not getting the same thing. It's probably because of some decimals here and there. Okay, so this is what it means if we decide to invest 8,661.23 pesos, and at the end of the year, each year we decide to pay 10,000 Ghana cedis, then this will be the total interest we'll make. When we add it to this amount at this level, we add it to this, we'll be able to make our 75,000 that we want. Okay, so that is how the present value function works. Okay, so let me see. I want to see why this is not working. Okay, okay, so even though we are still having false you can see that this is 75,000 Ghana cedis, and also this is 75,000 Ghana cedis. Okay, so we are right. And like I said, either they're having issue with the decimal portions. Okay, so that is it. Alright, so thank you for making time, and see you some other time. Bye bye.